Our feature presentation.
Let's jump right into this explainer. I want you to close your eyes for just a second. Picture the biting chill of a cold winter wind whipping across an empty courtyard. Listen for the deep, distant, rhythmic pounding of taiko drums. And finally, hear the slow, deliberate scrape of a metal sword unsheathing in the dark. Okay, open your eyes. Today we're exploring one of Japan's most powerful, devastating historical tragedies, the legend of the 47 Ronin.
In feudal Japan, honor was worth more than life itself. Now that's not just some dramatic proverb we hear in movies. It was the absolute, unbending reality these men lived in. When their master was suddenly condemned to die, 47 loyal warriors were faced with an agonizing, literally impossible choice. Do they walk away, forget the man who led them, and save their own skins? Or do they avenge him, knowing with absolute certainty that they're going to become hunted men forever?
Section 1. The Price of Honor, the Fall of Lord Asano.
To truly understand this tragedy, we have to step into the suffocating silence of the shogun's court. It's a place of incredibly rigid rules, severe discipline, and dangerous political manipulation. One wrong look, one misplaced step could cost a lord his entire house. So here we find Lord Asano, a man defined by his quiet discipline, deeply respected and fiercely honorable. But opposing him is Lord Kira, a manipulative, calculating political player. Kira delivers a cruel, calculated ignition point insult, openly mocking Asano as a country samurai pretending to be noble. Now, samurai were meticulously trained to master their emotions, but public humiliation of this magnitude, it can ignite even the calmest, most disciplined warrior.
You see, drawing a blade in the shogun's palace was strictly forbidden, punishable by death. There were absolutely no exceptions. But the insult just cuts too deep. In a shocking, breathless moment, Asano loses his emotional control. He draws his sword against Kira right there in a sacred space. Men gasp. And in that single, fleeting moment, his fate is sealed. Imagine the steady rhythm of falling rain outside. Inside, there is no music, only the sound of breathing. Lord Asano kneels to perform seppuku, ritual suicide. And with his final, dying breath, he leaves his loyal men with one devastating command: protect my honor.
Section 2. The Masterless Samurai, Enduring the Shame.
The death of Lord Asano instantly stripped his surviving samurai of their status. Families wept, sacred swords were hastily hidden in the earth as the cold snow fell. They were cast out. They became Ronin, masterless warriors, men without purpose. The emotional weight of this word in feudal Japan was immense. The shogun, and really all of Japan, expected these disgraced men to accept their shame and simply fade quietly into the shadows. But they didn't fade away. Under their leader, Oishi, they orchestrated this excruciatingly patient survival strategy. First, they had to become ghosts. They had to completely and utterly bury their pride, endure massive public humiliation, and wait for the absolute perfect moment to strike just once. They had to make the world believe they were broken men.
Oishi purposefully pretended to be a drunk, broken shell of a man. He stumbled through the streets, allowing ordinary villagers to kick him into the dirt and sneer, "Look at him, the great samurai has fallen." Think about the sheer psychological burden he carried, absorbing all that humiliation day after day, just to mask their true intent.
Because this was no sudden act of blind rage. Following the disgrace came an agonizing 2-year gap. For nearly 2 years, they operated as ghosts in the shadows. Imagine them on moonlit rooftops, silently passing hidden messages, unfolding hidden maps, and sharpening blades in the dead of night. Patiently, silently, waiting.
Section 3. Night of Vengeance, Red Blood on White Snow.
Then, 2 years of absolute silence shatters. The suppressed tension snaps. Heavy, blinding winter storm rolls in, and the waiting is over. 47. Feel the unbreakable unity of exactly 47 warriors moving together as one through the pitch black and heavy snow. Marching against impossible odds, they committed to this single night, knowing full well that dawn would bring their end.
Doors splintering, arrows flying, swords clashing in the dark, absolutely no mercy. It was a terrifyingly efficient ambush. But as they tear through Lord Kira's estate, we have to remember this. They didn't strike for power, They didn't strike for glory or wealth. They struck purely, unequivocally for honor.
The chaos ends. They find Lord Kira hiding in fear. Oishi stands over him and delivers the chilling verdict. Our master waits for justice. In that blood-stained snow, the 47 finally deliver the terrible justice their fallen lord had demanded 2 long years ago.
Section 4. The Final Sacrifice. The Weight of the Code.
The violence ceases. The Ronin don't run. They don't resist. They just surrender peacefully to the authorities. And this created an unbearable dilemma that paralyzed all of Japan. By the law of the shogun, these men were undeniably murderers. But by the strict, unyielding samurai code, their duty had been flawlessly, perfectly fulfilled. So what does a nation do with men who are simultaneously dangerous criminals and the ultimate shining exemplars of loyalty?
Well, the shogun's resolution was bittersweet. They were sentenced to die, yes, but not as common criminals. The shogun granted them the profound honor of dying as true samurai warriors through seppuku. They accepted their execution willingly, viewing it as the terrible but inevitable price of their honorable actions.
The aftermath paints such a haunting landscape. 47 empty swords resting quietly in the pure white snow, a cold wind blowing softly through the courtyard, distant temple bells ringing out in the chill air. In that silent moment, mortal men transitioned into timeless legends.
Which leaves us with a staggering reality to confront. These men gave up their names, their families, their dignity, and eventually their lives, simply to fulfill a promise. So I ask you, what is the true price of absolute loyalty? Thank you for joining me for this explainer on the legendary 47 Ronin. I hope this story leaves you with something profound to carry with you today.